Hello, my name is Matthew, and I was just talking with a guy at work this morning, and I was telling him that when I first started at the lumberyard, we used to have night watchmen. And the guy I was telling he's been there for about a year now, and we've been working directly for maybe 3 months or so. And he's a really good guy. He's a great personality, good worker. I don't have anything bad to say about him at all. I will say he staples his paperwork in the top right corner instead of usually in the top left corner. And it doesn't bother me, but I feel like it's one of those small details that a space alien trying to imitate a human might get wrong. So I am a little suspicious. Anyway, I'm telling this guy that we used to have night watchmen, and when I first started at the lumberyard, maybe 9 years ago, 8 or 9 years ago, we had this old timer night watchman. Had been working there for decades. Was effectively this old junkyard dog, super reliable, and pretty soon afterwards he retired, and we started. The company had to start getting new night watchmen, and there was this idea that we would bring in a few college kids. Maybe it would be a great job for college kids. And this is around the time that I got involved. I ended up having to fill in on open shifts and work graveyard shifts and things like that. And initially, we had a good batch of these college kids, and it seemed to work out. It's a good gig. Years and years ago, there used to be a night watchman's clock. It was this mechanical device that had a tape inside of it, and it had a leather satchel. It looked very medieval, and there were keys all over the lumberyard. And so once an hour, you would walk around with your night watchman's clock, and had a keyhole, and you would put the key in and turn it, and it would put a mark, a timestamp on the tape inside. That's long since passed. We still have them, but they're not in use. At this point, it's just an honor system. So all you do is you clock in. We have a little night watchman's shack at the front of the property, and it's an honor system. You walk around once an hour, you go in the shack, and there's a table in there's a chair, a couple chairs, a television, there's a DVD player with a handful of DVDs, there's a bookshelf with a small stack of books, and you can occupy yourself. Other than the hours, the graveyard shift, it's a pretty good deal, I always thought. But very quickly, we started just getting this parade, this cast of misfits coming in and becoming night watchmen, and it became increasingly a problem where almost every day there was something going on with the night watchmen. Either we had night watchmen letting themselves into the building because they had all the keys. There was a night watchman that let himself in the building so he could watch adult movies on the computers. We had night watchmen that were inviting their girlfriends over and having carnal relations. Night watchmen that had friends come over and drive the vehicles around. We had a night watchman that had a poker night. Things like that. And those are like notable. Other things like not showing up, being late, being unreliable, all of that as well. But there was one night watchman. As you can imagine, the one big no-no for being a night watchman would be falling asleep. And you might imagine that you might nod off or kind of have a daze. I once found one of those sleeping masks. So one of them decided to have a sleeping mask. But the idea is that you're awake. So we had a night watchman that went around the lumberyard, collected building materials, went into that little night watchman's shack, and built a bed into the office. He's 2x4s and plywood. He took Dow insulation, that blue board foam insulation, created a makeshift mattress, made this strange pillow that he put on top. He had sheets and blankets in there. One day, my supervisor and I walk in there. We hadn't been in there in a while, and we find a bed that this night watchman built. So we rip everything out. I was one of the people taking out the bed that this person made. And I don't know what happened with this guy, if they talked to him or if he got a warning or anything like that. I'm not sure. But he didn't get fired. He stayed on. And what did this guy do? He built another bed. The audacity to go around and take materials and build a bed to sleep on twice. Unreal. I should say, pretty much since after that incident, we disbanded the Night Watchman department. We no longer have it. We've hired out a private service that has kind of real security guards that are on the property, and we have they installed all sorts of modern cameras and motion detectors and things like that. But just in the recent history, just in the past 5, 6 years, 10 years, we had night watchmen, old-timey night watchmen, patrolling the lumberyard. It's fantastic. And there's a million other stories, but I thought that was a great one. I'm really not sure how much... I would just end it there, I guess. Let me know what you think. I'm not sure how often I'll be telling stories. This is a book channel, but if it's enjoyable for me. So leave a comment if you would like, and thank you for watching. Bye.